still in awe of what they have been able to achieve. The fact that they have won 4 in a row. We saw the shot there of, and here we go.
How good is that?
Ivan Cleary. He's getting used to that, isn't he?
4 years in a row. Remarkable.
Yep. And they do it every single year. They don't let him forget about it either. They got him good this year too, but it looks like that one's just water. It's usually the Powerade. But let's have a closer look at some of the big plays of tonight. A lot of the talk in the lead up to this game has been, of course, Jerome Luai leaving the club at season's end, but someone else, Sunia Turuva, he's also headed to the Tigers. So this was his last game with the Penrith Panthers, and he was the one who opened the scoring.
Yeah, it certainly was. And Melbourne would have did their homework last week where Alan Motti went through Talakai and Nico Hines. So they're in the same position, and Nathan Cleary, Alamotti and Jerome Luai in that same position as they were last week. As we let the play unfold, when Nathan gets the ball, he can't go any deeper into the line, otherwise these 2 defenders will land on the catch and kill the play. He lets it go perfectly and they bite. And what that does is puts pressure under this man here to go and kill the play. If Jerome Luai is any further, that's going to be a tough catch and pass for him. They execute the play perfectly, catch pass, and Sunia Turuva has an open line. It was this exact same play we seen last week against the Sharks, and they've executed against arguably the greatest or the best defensive side in the competition, the Melbourne Storm. They just pull their pants down with a well-executed play with Cleary, Luai and Alamotti. So it's such a great play to watch.
Yeah, what a moment for Sunia Turuva, saying that he scored the Penrith Panthers' first try in his last game with them before he's, of course, headed off to join the Tigers.
All right, let's head to the commentary box now. The 2 men that had the bird's eye view, as they so often do, Billy Slater and Andrew Johns, join us. Billy's best, is that first on the menu, you two?
Yeah, that's right, Brace. I'm going to pick a 3-2-1. I thought there were so many great players for the Panthers, but I've got to pick a 3-2-1. I'll start with 1, and that was their co-captain, Isaiah Yeo. No forward ran for more metres through the middle of the field than Isaiah Yeo, and he also made 45 tackles as well. He worked tirelessly through that middle and just banged down that front door. He does it every week, and we get so used to his performance, but he was incredible tonight. 2 points goes to the other co-captain, and that's Nathan Cleary. Along with all the work he did, he also set up a couple of tries, and he supplied the kick for Liam Martin to go through and contest the ball as well. He was incredible, contested the line just on 30 times. So to do that with a crook shoulder, he showed so much courage. But the player of the match is the Clive Churchill medalist, and that's Liam Martin. I just think he had some big moments. Incredibly made 46 tackles. So a real worker. And we know what we get from Liam Martin, but showed a bit of class tonight as well. And off the back of his efforts to get down and contest balls and kick chase and all that sort of stuff, he had a bit of joy off the back of it. Kept Cameron Munster pretty quiet as well. He played a leading role in that, but this try just before half-time was pivotal as well. Liam Martin, the Clive Churchill medalist, and also picks up the 3 votes.
Yeah, I thought early defensively he was outstanding. He put all sorts of pressure on Cameron Munster. Munster was their go-to man, and then the try just before half-time was a huge play. And then it's all Liam Martin that tried Alamotti. He went down and kick chase. He got down there first. He competed. He got up. He found a pass to Leota, and they end up scoring. But he wins the effort areas. As you said, 46 tackles, very important. But I want to ask Gus about the stories about Liam coming from Temora and the sacrifice his mum made for this young man to be playing in the NRL. Can you talk us through, Gus, the sacrifice the family have made for Liam?
Yeah, absolutely, particularly his mother, who used to drive him all the way from Temora. He came up to play in our junior rep teams, and they were a little bit reluctant to let him leave home. They'd had a bad experience with his brother at another club, which has been well documented. I won't talk about it, but Mum was a little bit reluctant to let him go, so we just said that he could drive him up every weekend and play in the rep teams. She'd drive him up on Friday night from Temora. He'd do his school homework in the back seat, and after a couple of years of playing junior rep football, she then relented and allowed us to put him in the team house out at Cranebrook, where we had house parents out there. Shane Elford and his wife used to run the house parenting program, and Liam Martin moved in there. He's actually a really intelligent kid. I think he's got a couple of degrees and really, really smart. But as a young footballer, one of those kids that sort of came in and made his impression straight away with the way he trained and the way he played. He had a perfect tackle technique, but he had an iron constitution. The way he trained was an inspiration to other players, and he just made his way through the ground. People asked, is he too small? What position will he play? Is he going to be a small front rower? Is he going to be a lock that doesn't pass the ball? Well, he's ended up being the Australian and New South Wales back rower on the edge, and he terrorises opposition playmakers, and he's such an inspiration to his teammates. And he's got a great career still ahead. He's still a young man. I mean, he's got a lot of football left in front of him, but he was phenomenal today, absolutely phenomenal in what he did.
Loving these scenes in the sheds, Martin, living up to that MAD tag that Joey's given him all those years ago. And Darren, you're a part of a Broncos side that just had this continuing success. But do even you marvel at what on earth is going on at Penrith to be doing what they're doing?
Oh, it's freakish. I think when I was interviewing Brian, I sort of said, tonight it looked like you were going for your first premiership. That's how hungry they looked.
Yep.
And they were so clinical. It's just amazing that they can. I think one of the silver linings for the Panthers this year was Nathan Cleary didn't play Origin, but for him to do what he did with his shoulder, you got Dylan Edwards with his knee, Brian Toto's got knee issues. So a lot of these guys who have played a lot of football over the last 4 or 5 years to just come up with an effort like that tonight is so impressive. And I'd love to be a fly on the wall at training, just inside or even in the gym, and just understand the leadership they've got in their playing group, but understand how Ivan always looks so relaxed, so calm, but they always get up for the big moments. And tonight, the Melbourne Storm just couldn't find a way through Penrith tonight, which was a huge effort from them.
And so much that lock is in your head. I mean, every club these days trains hard. They're so physically ready. But to be mentally and emotionally ready after winning 3 straight premierships, to turn up day in, day out and train that hard, then turn up on the weekend when you're hunted every single week, I agree. It's such an amazing effort, and I think excellence should be celebrated. I know we have a bit of a tall poppy syndrome here in Australia. We want to bring some down, but I just say we've
been wondering where Freddie is to do his interview.
Oh, look at him!
Is he going to be able to put 2 words together?
He hasn't even got a microphone in his hand. He's got a beard.
Hello, Brad. That is not a microphone.
Have a go at him.
Microphone for a twoies.
Look at him chewing Liam's ear off.
I reckon
He'll get the mic and he'll be like this.
He'd be telling stories about back in the day when he was...
The fact that'll have him covered, though. They've just won 4 premierships straight. Freddie, we've just won 4. Settle down, champ.
Oh, that's
Back
the
in
best.
91.
I wasn't born, son.
Hopefully some riveting interviews from Bad coming very soon. In the meantime, let's head over to Denica. Denica, lots of juicy news stories to come out of this one too.
Yes, there is, in fact, and one of the allegations that happened later on in the match that has a few people talking was, of course, the biting allegation. Cameron Munster allegedly bit Paul Alamotti. Well, that was the accusation from Paul Alamotti. You can see in the replays there. Obviously, JT, there has been another issue earlier this year where Stephen Crichton was allegedly bit by Carl Flanagan. Carl Flanagan spent a number of weeks out on the sideline due to that. What did you make of this incident?
Yeah, couldn't really see much in it, but the allegation is there, so no doubt the panel will have a look at it, and they've got all the angles, access to all the angles, so it's out of character of Cameron Munster, if it is true. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what the panel does.
Yeah, it didn't look like a clear bite down, but as you said, they do have so many camera angles that they will have to look at to see what the match review committee has to say about that incident. But let's talk about Nathan Cleary. We know that coming into this game, his body was battered and bruised. He was struggling all the year with a shoulder injury, which for a lot of the year no one really knew about outside the walls of the Penrith Panthers. He also had a hand injury, which he sustained against the Roosters a number of weeks ago. It is just incredible, the toughness.
Yeah, it certainly is. I've been on the end of shoulder injuries and how that affects your game, but to be able to play the way that he plays, still under the duress that his body is under, is quite tough. The mental resilience that takes, the mental toughness that takes to get your body through each and every game. But, this time of year, there'd be a handful, maybe even 8, 9, 10 that are getting needled to play in these games because everyone's carrying, minor injuries. But, yeah, you can't question his toughness in the game with a shoulder injury like that, and I think we had vision of him actually clinging to the shoulder at one part there, and Brad actually brought it up. The allegation of the biting actually allowed that to settle down. So, you know, if that hadn't happened, then maybe Melbourne would have been able to target. But yeah, so he certainly is a tough man.
Yeah, he certainly is. And look, there's been plenty of action all day. It has been a fantastic day here at Accor Stadium. Earlier, we saw the NRLW Grand Final between the Roosters and the Sharks. The Roosters, they got out to a really, really strong lead. The Cronulla Sharks, they fought their way back, but it was the Roosters who managed to hold out in the end to be NRLW premiers for this year.
Yeah, a remarkable game as well, 24-0 at half-time to the Roosters, and then it come back very close, and I think they scored with about a minute to go, the Sharkies, and denied the kick, so they had another minute just to go to try and score that, you know, final try to get them back in the match. But yeah, the Roosters, congratulations, and the skill level was outstanding from the girls today as well. So great structures, the attention to detail with their passing. So yeah, the NRLW is certainly on the up.
And we had a quiet word with our very own Millie Elliott as well, and I think the celebrations, they are well and truly underway. I think that's fair to say. And just a quick update, there has been a fair bit of discussion on that disallowed try from the Melbourne Storm, the Jack Howarth disallowed try. I just went inside, and some of the media have been shown another angle of the try, which obviously the bunker would have been privy to, and they actually did say that it looks as though the bunker got the call right in that instance.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Freddie said they got 23 or 24 camera angles, and there's a video on social media that's showing the ball on the ground. But as Freddie mentioned, they've got every angle there. So if they say that it's not down, then you got to go with it.
This year, NRL on 9 is your one-stop shop for all footy.
That's right, Freddie. Not about the highlights, action, 7 days a week.
Billy and Gus podcast, get that on your drive on the way home. Immortal Behaviour, grab a seat on the couch for that. And of course, my favourite, Freddie in the 8.
The best footy brains, the biggest games.
Don't trust the algorithm, subscribe to NRL on 9 and get all your entertainment there.